種子。
If I were to tell myself back in 2014 about the current state of Hong Kong, I would have been in absolute disbelief about the level of suppression from the Hong Kong government. Looking back in these 10 years, our path towards democracy has been full of ups and downs. We've faced setbacks and challenges, but alongside these struggles, we've seen something powerful, a growing awareness, a collective awakening amongst Hong Kongers. More and more people are realizing the importance of what we are fighting for, and that in itself is a victory.
如果我同2014年嘅自己講，關於香港嘅現狀，我應該無法相信香港會變成咁樣。喺呢10年裏面，我哋爭取民主嘅路上充滿咗高低起伏，我哋面對咗挫折同埋挑戰，但係喺呢啲掙扎之中，我哋見證咗一樣嘅嘢，就係香港人同全球嘅人日漸覺醒，越嚟越多人開始意識到我哋為咗咩而奮鬥，而呢一點已經係一個光復香港嘅關鍵步驟。
Though many of us have been scattered around the world, in different countries and different communities, one thing remains unchanged. Our hearts are still dedicated to the pursuit of democracy, freedom, and the rule of law. No matter where we are still fighting for the same cause. Distance hasn't weakened our resolve, and even in exile, we continue to expose the wrongdoings of the Chinese Communist Party and resist its attempts to infiltrate and influence societies globally.
雖然我哋當中好多人已經離散喺世界各地唔同嘅國家同埋社區，但有一樣嘢冇變，我哋嘅心依然致力於追求民主、自由同埋法治。無論我哋身處喺邊度，我哋依然為相同嘅目標而奮鬥。離開香港並冇削弱我哋嘅決心，即使係流亡之中，我哋會繼續揭露中國共產黨企圖滲透同影響全球社會嘅真相。
And today, when we look around the world, we see that our efforts have not gone unnoticed. The international community has started to take action. We see them beginning to push back against the CCP's influence. And this is no accident. It's because of our relentless efforts, our persistence, and our courage to keep speaking out.
我哋嘅努力並冇被忽視，國際社會已經開始採取行動反擊中共。呢啲唔係偶然嘅，係因為我哋香港人不懈嘅努力，我哋嘅堅持，仲有我哋勇敢持續發聲，先可以得嚟嘅。
But the fight is far from over. The CCP continues to use its economic power to entice and buy the loyalty of nations. They think they can silence us by offering economic deals, partnerships, and influence. But we, as Hong Kongers and Canadians, must continue to raise our voices. We must make sure that the world knows that turning a blind eye to the CCP's crimes is shameful. We must remind our politicians that cooperating with a regime that suppresses its own people and undermines human rights comes at a cost.
但呢場鬥爭仲未結束，中共繼續利用佢嘅經濟實力去誘惑同買取其他國家嘅政客。佢哋以為可以收買政治人士就可以令我哋噤聲，但我哋作為香港人同埋加拿大人，必須繼續抗爭。我哋要每個國家嘅政府都知道，對中共嘅罪行視而不見係可恥嘅。我哋要提醒佢哋，同一個壓迫自己人民、破壞人權嘅政權合作係要付出代價嘅。
So, we will keep going. We will keep working in our communities, in our jobs, and in our lives to stand up for what is right. We will keep making noise on the global stage to ensure that no one can ignore the truth about what is happening in Hong Kong. The road ahead will not be easy, but we don't measure success by how easy the journey is. We measure it by how hard we are willing to fight, and fight we will for as long as it takes.
所以我哋會繼續努力，我哋會喺我哋嘅社區、工作同生活中繼續為正義發聲，引起社會同政府關注，確保香港發生嘅真相唔會被遺忘。之後嘅路確實唔容易，但我想提一提大家，唔係見到希望先堅持，而係堅持先見到希望。多謝大家。
Thank you. 光復香港，
時代革命，
光復香港，
時代革命，唯一出路，唯一出路。Stand with Hong Kong. Stand with Hong Kong.
We would like to remind everyone here to not forget to vote in the upcoming provincial election on October 19th. Every single vote matters. Vancouver activists of Hong Kong has done research on which candidates are pro-CCP and which are not, so you can make an informed decision prior to voting day. The information is posted and available anytime on our Instagram and Facebook accounts. Make sure you're registered, know your polling station, and have a clear picture of the candidates' backgrounds and affiliations. Let's ensure British Columbia's future is no longer manipulated by pro-CCP politicians. If you would like to assist with our research on our political candidates, please reach out to any of our group members, or you can message us on our Instagram page.
大家唔好忘記喺10月19號即將嚟到嘅省選中投票，每一票都係至關重要。VAHK 咧已經做咗一個調查，了解邊啲候選人係親中共，邊啲唔係嘅。咁你可以咧喺投票日作出明智嘅選擇。相關嘅資料咧已經登咗上網啦，隨時咧可以喺我哋 VAHK 嘅 Instagram、Facebook 嘅帳號睇到。唔好唔記得登記投票喎，確認你嘅投票站，並且對候選人嘅背景有清楚嘅了解。我哋咧要確保卑詩省嘅未來唔再受到親中共政客嘅操控。如果你想幫手研究政治候選人背景咧，請喺我哋 VAHK 嘅 Instagram PM 我哋聯絡我哋嘅 VAHK 成員。
There is also currently a petition to call on the Canadian government to revoke the status of the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Canada. It also calls for the release of political prisoners Jimmy Lai, Chow Hang Tong, and a group of 47 pro-democracy politicians, and to apply sanctions under the Magnitsky Law against the Chinese and Hong Kong officials. If you have a moment today, please sign the printed petitions that we've printed today on the table right in front of me.
請花啲時間簽住我哋今日準備嘅紙本請願書，呼籲加拿大政府撤銷香港經貿辦。請願書咧，同時咧要求釋放政治犯黎智英、周幸彤同埋47位民主派人士，並根據馬格尼茲基法對中國同香港官員實施制裁。嗰個請願書就喺呢個兩個畫架中間嘅位置嗰張台，請大家一間行到去幫手簽個名。
We also have a couple guest speakers who would like to share their thoughts with us today.
我哋而家有幾位嘉賓分享。
The first person is
呢個係廉署簽請願書，咁我就簽翻個名
station
先。
was established in 2015 and focused. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the station was established in 2015 and focuses on producing online paid TV programs. It focuses on Hong Kong's local culture, including current affairs, finance, tourism, and other topics. As their philosophy, they also broadcast live protests such as this one in Hong Kong and Vancouver to defend the Lion Mountain spirit and to defend Cantonese, all in the name to speak out for the people of Hong Kong.
第一位分享嘅嘉賓鱷魚哥，佢係香港製造網絡電視 Made in Hong Kong TV 或者係 MIHK 網台嘅創辦人。呢、個台喺2015年成立，主力製作網上收費電視節目，特色係注重香港本地文化，包括時事、財經、文化、旅遊等等，亦會直播喺香港同溫哥華嘅抗爭活動，以捍衛獅子山精神、捍衛廣東話為理念，為香港市民發聲。
佢哋呢個簽名，跟住呢用咩寫？跟住係，hello，呢度有冇嘢寫
？Thank you for coming today for this gathering. I'm going to deliver my speech in English, and maybe I will do it in Cantonese if time allows. 我係鱷魚啦，你可以叫我 Crocodile. Okay. 10 years ago, on September 28th, Hong Kong Central District filled with protesters, and I was one of them. We were very angry at the Chinese government because they plan to break the promise of a fully democratic vote that certifies international standard of universal and equal suffrage. This campaign became known to the world as Occupy Central, or the Umbrella Revolution. The campaign called for the occupation of Hong Kong district, paralyzed the city's financial center. All walks of life joined the campaign, including young people, students, professionals, middle-class people, and many retired senior people. Today, Hong Kong streets are quiet. Every street corners of Hong Kong hoisted with the different sizes of China flags, expressing their supreme authority and power over Hong Kong. Protest has been criminalized, and many of the leaders of the Umbrella Revolution has been exiled, put in prison, or otherwise keeping their mouths shut. Looking back, I remember the feeling of that first day of Occupy. I was 46, and I go along with my family. I always have doubt on the Hong Kong Basic Law, and if the Chinese communists will keep and promise to deliver universal suffrage to the people now that the territory has been returned from British to Chinese communist control. I never trust the Chinese communists, and I don't think I ever will. They are professional liars and cheaters. If you flip your history books, CCP are well known for breaking promises. Look at what they did to the Chinese National Party, or the Kuomintang, the Tibet people and the Xinjiang people, the Taiwan people, and even to lying to their own people, and of course, lying over the world. 10 years ago, China government announced that in elections, people would only be able to choose from a few candidates, handpicked by a mostly pro-Beijing committee. Now imagine you are going into Save on Food and trying to buy yourself some food, and all you can find on the counter and all you can pick a Cara orange, blood orange, or clementine. This is about the idea the CCP have in mind about the election they are going to give to Hong Kong. Simply nothing you can choose. It seemed that the government wanted to break the promises, so on that day, on September 28th, I went out. Also went out with my family, my wife, and my then 11 years old daughter. The gathering was peaceful and in order. People were very well behaved. Since I was with my daughter and the next day was a regular school day, we left before 5 p.m. that afternoon. Then at 5:58 p.m., we saw from the news, the Hong Kong police fired tear gas to the peaceful crowd. The police force decision to use tear gas on the day one, again a peaceful crowd had just brought many people come to the street. This time, I escaped the tear gas attack, but eventually I had my turns to smell the strange scents and how uncomfortable this tear gas caused to my eyes. Soon the SOT district were filled with tents and camps. Other camps also formed in Mong Kok district and as well as in Causeway Bay. The volunteer groups took care of provisions, sanitation, and tutoring of students, while calling for Beijing to reverse these plans and for Hong Kong's chief executive C.Y. Leung, also his nickname is 689, to step down. I saw Hong Kong people were really passionate about democracy, about their future, and having a say in how the city is run. But as Occupy scratched on, the public tolerance decreased and divisions deepened among protesters. The government remained unmoved and police become more aggressive. Court injunctions ordered sections of the camps to clear. The campaign ended on December 15th and after 79 days, without having achieved the planned objectives. At the end of the day, people were hugging each other and saying farewells. However, this was the very first step in a bigger war, and we Hong Kongers know we will be back. The protests have woken up many young peoples and all the others. New political parties and activist groups emerged. In June 2019, millions took to the street again in massive pro-democracy protests. Over 2 million people ran further to the street to oppose the government's plan to establish closer links to the mainland China. Participants used the tactics and strategies fine-tuned during Occupy. The Occupy protest left important legacies, strengthening Hong Kongers' self-identity and their aspirations to democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Today, Hong Kong seems quiet. The quietening is largely because of a national security law that Beijing imposed on Hong Kong in June 2019. The Chinese Communist Party claims the law was necessary to restore stability and prosperity. In March 2024, Article 23 of the Basic Law was passed, safeguarding national security ordinance, give new powers to the government investigate external interference, theft of state secrets, insurrection, and treason, with penalty up to life imprisonment for those found guilty of certain crimes specified by the law. Is stability and prosperity restored by this national security law? A fuck no. Hong Kong, one of the most great financial, business, culture, and tourism hubs, has finally been brought to heel. Britain, abused and silenced. Middle class and professionals are leaving the city, finding their dreams in other unfamiliarized cities. Foreign companies have left. Investment is drying up. The city economy fails to make progress. Hold on a second. Office buildings with the units are empty now. It is no longer a preferred choice to overseas tourists. Instead, our street levels are filled with the mainlanders rushing to our country from the north. Does Xi Jinping realize it? Oh fucking yes. But possibly he does not fucking care. Their ridiculous over-the-top security crackdown is accelerating Hong Kong's decline. Many people think Hong Kong is dead. The city may have gone through big changes, but I strongly believe Hong Kong is not a place. It is a people. Although we are not living in our motherland today, we are still breathing. We are still having our Hong Kong blood flowing in our veins. No one on earth can take away our Hong Kongers' identity. We have shown to the world Hong Kongers are a decent and unique ethnic group. We have impressed the world, and we also bravely fought against a giant. Our continuous battle fought in the past 10 years made the world know the real nature of the Chinese Communist Party. China may have think they are conquering Hong Kong, but they are paying a very, very serious price. Look at the current dipshit situation, the financial situation they are suffering right now. And I'm very happy we are part of it, making it happen. The sparkle ignited in the 2014 Umbrella Revolution will keep us burning. I urge my overseas fellow Hong Kongers, don't let this fire die down. We live on, we pick up new knowledges, we make new friends, we accumulate wealth, and we are getting stronger every single day. Once time has come, we will strike again. Long live Hong Kong!
Long live Hong Kong.
We fight for our freedom,
For freedom.
and we urge the world to stand with us. One moment. I hope everybody continue. Don't give up. We cannot give up. We have to keep it going. We have to tell the people all around us, our friends, our colleagues, our neighbors, the real nature of Chinese communists. Their aggression is vicious. They won't give up until they take over the world. Canada is a very peaceful place, and we love this country. We cannot let the Chinese Communist Party to take their hands to brutalize Canadian and their living. We have to strike for freedom, and also we have to defend Canada. We help them, together with them, we fight against the Chinese Communist Party. And this is the motto I hope everybody can remember and we live on. 再講多一次，光復香港，
時代革命，
香港獨立，
唯一出路，
打倒共產黨。
全黨死清光。
Thank you very much.